This week in Handyman Corner, we're going to do a little bit of concentrating on safety. You've all heard the expression, safety first. But actually, at the lodge, it's more like safety forced. But you know, with the decay of moral values in society, the members all feel they now have something to live for. So there's a whole new focus there on the idea of safety. And this gave me an idea. You know, the new cars now have these airbags that are in front of you there, and no, I'm not talking about like the little bags they have in front of you on the airplane. But I was thinking, what if you had a personal airbag, something you could wear on your body at all times for any kind of a front-end collision or whatever? And so I thought I might design one of those, and of course the first thing you're going to need is an undershirt. An undershirt is usually just holding your own stomach, but this time it's going to be having something of value. So you want to seal her off real good. You go across the bottom with some staples. You might want to make 2 or 3 rows of staples on there. And then once you've got the staples all in place, you want to just cover that up with the Handyman secret weapon duct tape. This is just a safety precaution, really, to cover up the staples, because any of you who've ever been to the outhouse with a magazine know the damage the staples can do. I'll finish that off later. What I want to show you right now is the most important part of the airbag, which is the airbag. Nothing runs like a deer, does it? This may look to you like a lawn bag, but this is going to save your life. What you do is open up your shirt or open up your blouse, or, well, let's just stick with the shirt for now. And, you want to pack the bag in there, just like packing a parachute. Or there was a movie one time where I think they said, are you packing a parachute or are you just glad to see me? Luckily, it was just a parachute. All right, once that's in place, you need something that's going to fill the bag up, something to inflate the bag. And when you think about safety, what do you think of? Fire extinguisher. Dump in there and fill that thing up in 2 seconds flat. Now make sure you get the CO2 kind. Otherwise you'll be picking fire retardant out of your shorts for the next 24 years. Kind of natural and unobtrusive looking, isn't it? And the beauty of it is I could just be walking down the street, and if anything should start coming towards me of a full frontal nature, perhaps a speeding truck or what have you, I just reach calmly up over my back, quickly, but calmly up over my back, and pull the safety pin, and just release my personal airbag. It's that simple. So remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. I'm freezing and I've blown my bag. This week on the Handyman Corner, we're going to show you how to do some rust-proofing on your car. You know, these days, with the government putting so much salt on the roads, you know, they end up retaining water, and then your car rusts out on you. So you end up having to do some body work or some sort of a defensive mechanism. A lot of people use the fiberglass, put the fiberglass on the car, but that's hard to do, and it's expensive, it smells funny, and you can't ever put a fridge magnet and leave a message for anybody on your car after that. Now, Moose Thompson, what he done was he completely encased his truck in cement, which was a kind of a novel approach. It really cut into his gas mileage, but if he's ever in an accident, he wins. But I want to take kind of a new approach. I want you to think about this. Linoleum. Try putting some linoleum right on your car. It's fairly inexpensive, it's lightweight, it's durable. And if you get into a fender bender, you know, if you got a decent cushion floor on there, it could save your life. What you do is take her out and cut her out in roughly the shape of the car. Stick it on with the Handyman secret weapon, duct tape. Now this will take you 3 or 4 hours on a Saturday, or really any day. I mean, that part's up to you. But I think you'll be quite surprised and to a certain extent amazed at how it turns out. Now I'm kind of on a limited budget, so I did this all with the samples. But I suppose if your money's no object, you would get, you know, the whole roll of linoleum and 9x12 or whatever comes in, and do it all the same. I kind of like this look, and I'm sure there's people out there, maybe yuppies or what have you, that would want to do it all in parquet or terrazzo tile of some kind. But this is just fine for me. It's easy as heck to keep clean too, because it's a no wax finish. You just damp mop that down, especially if there's eggs or what have you on it. Comes right up, looks real good. Myself, personally, I'm gonna polish this up, but that's a pride thing. That's just something that I have. But if any of you want to do this with anything, it's the same technique. As long as you got the duct tape and the time, you can have something that looks like this sitting in your driveway. So, until next time, remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Beautiful, beautiful thing, is it not? Last Saturday, I was mowing the lawn in kind of a hurry because the afternoon movie was Where Eagles Dare. It's kind of a guy movie. You know, good guys, bad guys, and they make war look like fun. You gotta love that. Unfortunately, I was mowing the lawn at the full speed, and on my last pass there, I sideswiped Bernice's cement leprechaun lawn ornament. You know, they say leprechauns are lucky. I'll tell you, this one will never get lucky again. And my lawn tractor didn't fare much better. Now, some cynical people might say, boy, it's got to be more than a coincidence that you wreck your old lawn tractor the day after you see the new lawn tractors down at Murray's store. But Bernice, believe me, I was upset. I could hardly enjoy Where Eagles Dare. But you know, at the end there, when Clint Eastwood, he rides off a motorcycle sidecar unit. Motorcycle sidecar, by golly. Looked like a lot of fun to me. Got to figure out how to get one of those, but unfortunately, I'd spent so much money on the new lawn tractor that I had to find a cheap way to make myself one of these units. So basically, you got three components. You got your motor, you got a cycle, you got a sidecar. I got the motor, I got the sidecar. All I need is the cycle. So I strung a rope across at chest height right across the bike path up here. Oh boy. Oh, Harold, you're fine. Okay, all right, we're in business now. Now, usually, the motor is in the cycle part, huh? But with me, I got the motor in the sidecar. So the project becomes real easy. All I gotta do is weld the cycle, the sidecar. You know, welding may look dangerous because, of course, you got a full tank of oxygen there and a full tank of explosive acetylene. But, of course, that's why they give you the safety goggles. All right, let's start by just welding the bike to the lawnmower, and then, oh, we're done. Almost done here. All right, may have had the torch a little hot there. This is why you want to keep a garden hose around. All right, no, that'll burn down in no time, you know. Good time to use the safety goggles, huh? They're tinted. So I'm thinking, I'm not even going to bother welding around. I'll just kind of use the handyman's secret weapon there. Is this tape on fire? No. All right. All set to go where eagles dare. So remember, women don't find you handsome. They should at least find you handy. Someday you'll look back at your kids growing up and you'll think those were the best times of your lives. That's because we tend to only remember the good times, and because our lives tend to get worse and worse. The truth is, nothing ruins a dream vacation with your kids faster than to actually have to take your kids on it. Luckily, today's brand new deluxe minivans have all kinds of conveniences to make traveling with kids a lot more enjoyable. They got TVs and DVD players, and video games, the whole shebang. But what car makers forget is that most people who have kids can't afford a brand new minivan. Luckily, thanks to a modern miracle known as the teenage driver, vans that start out looking like that end up looking like this. And they're a lot more affordable. Heck, if you can pick up an old minivan for next to nothing, you don't care if it gets wrecked. Kind of like when you rent one. Now I'm going to show you how to give this van all the family-friendly features that the super vans have for a fraction of the cost. Assuming zero is a fraction. First thing you want to do is get the bench seats out of there. Got to keep the kids apart. Every war in history was started by immature people being too close together. So what you want to do is measure the length of your kids' arms and then position these chairs farther apart than that. This unit is designed for 2 kids. If you're Catholic, you may need to get a school bus. And for extra safety, I've installed the 5-point seat belts on each chair. That way the kids will be protected against the #1 family road hazard, each other. We even have a video game for one of the kids. See the line from this fishing rod? It goes out through the window. And dangling from the end is an action figure that comes free whenever you supersize your double cheese fries and a soft drink, I would think. And the kid controls the movement of our action figure by winding in and letting out the line, see? You can even set the level of difficulty by adjusting the tension on the reel. And of course, the obstacles you're trying to avoid are the dreaded bubbles of death. See, I got this jar of liquid soap connected by a siphon tube to this bubble blower. So when you drive along, the wind fires the bubbles towards the action hero, and the kid uses the fishing rod to dodge the soap. Put a little dirt on the guy. As soon as he's clean, game's over. Okay, now to keep the other kid amused, I cut a hole in the roof and hung an aquarium filled with goldfish. This is to simulate a movie. See? You just show him the box from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and he'll be convinced. By the way, if one of your kids is smart, you should do this with the other one. So remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. And for that little extra something that every parent loves, get yourself one of these toy microphones that comes out the radio. Hello? Am I coming through? Is this working? They sell these so kids can pretend they're famous singers. She was only a bird in a girdled cage. But this microphone is not for the kids to sing into. It's for you to talk into. Hey, you two, settle down back there. I saw that. Don't you make me come back there. You know, one of my wife's favorite expressions is, get a grip. At least around me. But you know, when you think of it, tread wear and tire grip aren't just my wife's concerns. So this week on Handyman Corner, I'm going to show you how you can turn regular all-season deep tread tires into smooth racing slicks using this flamethrower. All right, let's jack up the car and get to those tires. This jack doesn't seem to be working all that well. And even if it was, it only raised the car up a few inches, which is no good to us. We need something that'll raise this unit up to a more workable level. You know, like one of those hydraulic jacks that the mechanics have, you know? So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna build one of them super duper heavy duty high tilting jacks. And we'll make the racing slicks another day. And at that time, I'll show you how to fix a barbecue. All right, now all we gotta do is just raise the angle on the car there, so your wheels are right at eye level. You don't even have to do any bending. Well, you know, even these small cars are still fairly heavy. All right, that should do it. Man, I'm not heavy enough. Wait till I tell Bernice. All right, now we talked this over, and here I'll come up with a theory that if I want to lift the car, my lever's going to have to be longer. Quite a bit longer. That's where this rope comes in handy. I just pull down on that, and the car goes up. There. Now all I need is something to put on the end of the board to hold her down. Here, boy, come on. You know, it took us a little while and a whole lot of effort to get all these concrete blocks stacked up here, but, you know, Harold's young. He'll be able to stand up straight in a few days, I would think. There we go. That should get her up high enough and be able to get right at those tires. All right, I just have one word for this. Perfect. Because now I can work on all four wheels at once. Rotate the tires, check the brakes, hey? Service the muffler, pick up loose change that fell out of the seats. This is a brilliant system, eh? As long as you don't mind a little warping and rippling in your roof. And I'm sure Buster won't. Remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Let's see them steal this one. You know, with all the cars getting stolen up at the lodge, thought I'd take this week's Handyman Corner, show you how you can make your car burglar-proof. Now, you're probably thinking the best way to do that is to have a car that's not worth stealing. I'll tell you something, that doesn't always work, because to a burglar, fourth-class riding is better than first-class walking. So I think you're better off to go with a multi-stage anti-theft program. And the first stage of that is the door handle itself, all right? You want to make that unfriendly. You know what I suggest? You wire her up like I have here to the cigarette lighter. Now you plug that in, and within a couple of minutes, that door handle gets blazing hot. Eh? This not only makes the burglar upset, it enables the cops to catch him red-handed. Okay, next thing you want to do for the next stage is you want to disable your steering wheel somehow. So what you do is get yourself a crutch. You can pick one of these up for free at the waiting room at the gout clinic when nobody's watching. All right? You just got to hook this up the steering wheel. Here, I'll show you how. All right, now you want to mount the crutch in there so it comes right down between the driver's legs. That way, when the burglar does a quick left-hand turn, you'll have to pull over for medical attention. And here's another little feature. I've run my rad hose up inside the car, got the rad cap on there, but when I leave the car, I take the cap with me. That way, when the burglar starts her up, steam goes all over him. Instant sauna. All right. All right, now, we got another feature to show you here in a minute. Okay. You know, you want to figure out some way to impede the rotation of the tires. Now, I would think about maybe letting the air out all of them, but you know, that's inconvenient. So instead, I say what you do is take a nut off each wheel on one side, but not just any nuts. Make sure it's the two nuts that are closest together. So in other words, the farthest one back on the front wheel and the farthest one forward on the back wheel. Here, I'll show you. That was my back. All right, there we go. Now, you're going to need a piece of chain for this, which you can pork off the back of a tow truck while the guy's in the donut shop working on his waistline. See how I've mounted these to the nuts that are closest to each other and so on? That way, when the burglar tries to move the car, the wheels are going to lock up. All right, let's go to stage 5, anchors. See how this works here? Jam these anchors well into the ground here. We've attached one to the back bumper and one to the front bumper. All right, now we're ready for the final stage, noise creation. More or less especially for lodge members. Now for this, you're gonna need some of this special wire they use to ring the bell at gas stations. But you don't have to buy this stuff. I mean, most of the stations leave it out all night. So all you gotta do is cruise by with a pair of wire cutters, let nature take its course. All right, you wanna strip off the one end of the wires. You wanna connect these to your horn relay, but make sure you connect the right wires to the right terminals. No? No? Oh gosh, that's not even the horn relay. Here we go. Boy, that is loud, isn't it? Great acoustics under there. Anybody say anything? No? Okay. Then you spread that hose out where the burglar will be sure to step on it, and there you have your anti-theft car. Isn't that great? So remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Oh boy, I was supposed to pick Bernice up about an hour ago. There you go. 50 years of overeating and underachieving, you start worrying that someday your heart's going to go off like a warm can of pop in an earthquake. There is a way to avoid this scenario. You could change your diet or maybe get involved with a physical fitness program. But hey, who are we kidding? So this week on Handyman Corner, I'm going to show you how to make your very own pacemaker. First thing you want to do is start off with one of these here balloons, the long wiener-shaped kind, not the round kind. All right, that's got her. Well, I hope that was a balloon. All right, now we're going to use this to check our pulse. I know you're supposed to use your wrist, you know, but here again, after decades of lifting cheeseburgers and large drafts, your wrist can get pretty thick and the pulse gets buried way down deep in there. So we're going to check our pulse in our neck. See, as you get older now, your blood starts to pick and choose where in the body it's going to go, but it will always go to your brain. If yours doesn't, you're probably not watching this anyway. And you know that little sound that a balloon makes when you let the air out slowly? Huh? Okay, we're going to use that sound to count our heartbeats. What you want to do is just snug the balloon in under your collar. If it's a little bit too loose, you can just blow her up a bit. Or if you're short on cash, just leave the balloon in there. You can sue somebody for whiplash. Oh! You can sue the balloon maker. Boy, the heart's racing now. All right, now, in a second, this balloon is going to start pulsing along with my heart, right? But first thing you got to do is you want to be able to record that sound for your pulse. Get yourself one of these little cassette recorder deals off a teenager while they're asleep, say during class. All right, now you set that on record and start her pulsing. Sounds like Harold when he was a kid. Now, you don't need a lot of that. Half hour is plenty. All right, what you need now, get yourself one of these digital clocks that displays seconds. All right, now you play back your tape, and then you adjust the clock so that you're getting a pulse every second. There we go. Now what I've got is I've got the digital clock set to my very own personal heartbeat. This brings me to the final step, wiring the digital clock up to my heart. All right, what I've done there is I've got a wire running off the back of the digital readout, and I just take the other end and hook it up to the heart region of my lungal area by soldering it through a couple of adjacent chest hairs. Might want to have a couple of aspirins before you do it. But anyway, she's done. And now tiny electrical jolts from this digital unit are going to keep my heart running like clockwork. When people say, how's the old ticker? I don't have to do some bad, dirty joke anymore. So remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Man, am I dead? Oh no, just on snooze.